Hey there, A's Day fans. Welcome to our next edition of A's Player Preview and Prediction. As we are winding down, as we are a mere 2 days away from the start of A's opening day baseball, as they are gearing up and they have already touched down in Canada to start the season up in Toronto to take on the defending American League champion Blue Jays. Excited to get to all of that chatter very soon. But until then, we still have two franchise cornerstones to talk about. We're going to talk about one of them today as we discuss the 2026 outlook for last year's starting American League All-Star shortstop, Jacob Wilson, or is better known as Jay Willie. Jacob Wilson is a native of Los Angeles, California, and will be entering his age 24 season as he turns 24 on the 30th of this month. Wilson, as we get to know his journey a bit, he attended Thousand Oaks High School in Thousand Oaks, California, where he played for his father, Jack Wilson, a former Major League shortstop primarily with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Wilson played college baseball at Grand Canyon University. As a freshman at GCU in 2021, Wilson played in 47 games as a third baseman, hitting .313, a .376 on base, and .440 slugging percentage with 4 home runs and 29 RBIs. In the summer of 2021, he played Summer League Baseball for the Mankato Moondogs of the Northwoods League, one of the premier collegiate summer leagues in all of the country. He moved to shortstop his sophomore year in 2022. He had .358, a .480 on base, and .585 slugging percentage with 12 home runs and 65 RBIs over 59 games that season. In 2022, he played collegiate summer ball with the Orleans Firebirds of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Wilson entered the 2023 season as one of the top prospects for the 2023 Major League Baseball draft. The A's would end up selecting Wilson in the first round with the 6th overall pick of the 2023 draft, receiving a $5.5 million signing bonus. Wilson began his professional career with the high-A Lansing Lugnuts, where he hit .318 in 88 at-bats. He then appeared in 3 games for the rookie-level Arizona Complex Lead Athletics, hitting 5 for 11 with 5 RBIs. To start the 2024 season, Wilson hit .455 with 3 home runs and 88 at-bats with the AA Midland Rockhounds before being promoted to the AAA Las Vegas Aviators. On July 19, 2024, Wilson was selected to the 40-man roster and promoted to the major leagues for the first time. In 28 appearances for Oakland during his rookie campaign, he batted .250, a .314 on base, and .315 slugging percentage with 3 RBIs. On March 31st, 2025, Wilson hit his first career home run, a solo home run, fresh off of winning the shortstop starting job out of spring training. He hits his first career homer off of Cubs right-handed pitcher Ben Brown. Jacob Wilson was the A's opening day shortstop, and his season started off with a bang. On April 1st, he was batting .300. And his average never dipped below that mark all season. He finished 3rd in the American League with a .311 average. He was named the starting shortstop of the 2025 AL All-Star team, becoming the 3rd fan-elected player from the Athletics since 1993. When all was said and done, despite missing time with a broken bone in his right forearm, he finished second only to Nick Kurtz in the American League Rookie of the Year award. In 125 appearances for the Athletics, he batted .311, a .355 on base, and .444 slug, with 13 home runs, 63 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. On January 30th of this year, Wilson and the A's came to an agreement on a 7-year, $70 million contract extension. Wilson goes into this upcoming season knowing that he'll be in the starting 9 and likely at or near the top of the order. But there is still the biggest question of what his future position may be. Even his staunchest supporters question whether he has the range to be a top fielding consistent Major League shortstop. The question is compounded by the fact that Leo DeVries, the system's highest-rated shortstop, is speeding his way through the minors and could land on the A's roster later this year, especially coming off an impressive Cactus League showing. The talk throughout the organization is that Wilson ends up as an everyday third baseman or even potentially a second baseman if they want to be more flexible with Jeff McNeil. But without a crystal ball, all we know that is if he stays healthy, Jacob Wilson will be an important part of the A's starting lineup. So, coming off a fine campaign, a rookie campaign indeed, Wilson did showcased the best strikeout percentage in baseball. He is a high contact guy. He doesn't walk a lot, but he doesn't strike out a lot as well. A lot of his at bats are productive. Even his outs are baseballs that are put into play, putting pressure on the opposition. He had a 7.5 strikeout percentage, which was in the 100th percentile, according to Baseball Savant. And he did not have a high whiff rate. His whiff percentage was 9.6, which was in the 99th percentile of all qualified hitters. On the defensive side of things, he did have a -3 outs above average, but ranked in the 88th percentile of all qualified fielders in terms of arm strength, which those numbers, while not enough of a sample size, would love to see another year this year as well as perhaps another before making that determination. But those numbers, at least on the onset, would suggest that perhaps a move to third base could be in the cards for Wilson's future. If he has a strong enough arm and perhaps won't need enough as much of range, but still has a solid smooth glove, perhaps he can transition into a Gold Glove third baseman with more reps over there. I do see that perhaps being a future pathway for him. It's either going to be third base or second, because I believe that the A's are all in on Leo DeVries eventually taking over as the long-term full-time shortstop. Time will tell there. But Jacob Wilson is a catalyst in this lineup, and would imagine he'll be at the top of the order or perhaps round out in the 5th spot, somewhere in that 1 through 5. I don't think he'll lead off, so perhaps could see him more in the middle of the order. But he resets the order in a way as well, because while he doesn't strike out a lot, he doesn't walk a lot, but he's going to put the ball in play and put pressure on the other team. He is going to go out there confident and try to look for his pitch early in the count. He doesn't want to get behind, and he wants to do damage to pass the baton to the next guy. He is someone that showcased a bit of power in 2025, and I do think some of it was to the aid of Sutter Health Park being the second most hitter-friendliest park in all baseball behind Coors Field. But nevertheless, that is another tool in Wilson's toolbox, because we did see him hit some impressive home runs on the road as well. So it's not just the Sutter Health Park effect. I do think maybe that added a couple to his line. But nevertheless, he is a high-contact guy, seeking line drives and passing the baton to the next guy in the order. And that is very important. Having that confidence that whatever that pitcher's throwing out there in the mound, he is not going to get it by him. Even if he's not going to get a hit every time, which no one does, which that would be unheard of. But just the fact that maybe Wilson hits a hard ground ball to the shortstop, but it's a pitcher's pitch, that little bit, that contact may put enough doubt in the pitcher's mind that he may transition to another pitch that could be more hitter-friendly for the next guy behind him. And that's just the mentals inside of this integral game, which is one of many reasons why I feel like it is the greatest game that we do get to enjoy, and now on a nightly basis, which is very exciting, as opening day is upon us in Major League Baseball. A's opening day 2 days away. We cannot wait for the start of games for all 30 teams, without a doubt. But Jacob Wilson is very important. If he goes, this team goes. I expect him to be a high average guy once again. And I know he has his sights set to increase his average even from what it was a year ago, according to an offseason article where they interviewed him and his dad. And his dad's told him the minimum expectation was to hit 320 or higher. So I would love to see if he can hit that mark. But Jacob Wilson's old school philosophy is really translating well into the modern game. He's someone that's going to give you at bat, and he's going to make solid enough contact early in the count. Now, another downside to his game, people may be worried about his exit velocity, but when you're seeking singles and hitting line drives all over the park, that's not going to really matter. It's going to translate to a high accumulation of hits and giving a different look of a different type of hitter in your lineup. This A's lineup has enough of big boppers in it that are going to hit tons of home runs. Having someone like a Wilson is a nice change of pace that is going to continue to lengthen this lineup, and expect him to have another all-star type campaign. So best of luck to Jacob Wilson, who we had the opportunity to meet twice during last season. He was very friendly, got to speak with him. Check out our YouTube channel for the time we got to speak with him during spring training. Very nice guy. Always rooting for him and looking forward to him having a solid encore season to follow up his fantastic rookie campaign. On the 2026 season, according to Fangraphs, they project Jacob Wilson to hit for a .294 batting average with 11 home runs, 69 RBIs, and a .762 OPS. So they are viewing Wilson having another strong season, but perhaps a little bit of regression with the bat. perhaps due to that lower exit velocity, they don't feel he'll have as much success with baseballs in play. I think his style plays. Again, it's a nice, refreshing change of pace that he is going to get his hits. He's not trying to do too much. He's not trying to hit the ball 500 feet. He takes what they give him. Now, one thing that you got to keep an eye on, make sure that chase rate doesn't go up. That is something that we saw during spring training where he was chasing pitches out of the zone more frequently. But perhaps that's just getting his timing back, and he'll get that out of his system and get back to doing what made him so successful during the 2025 campaign. So for the A's Day over-under prediction, we are going to look at that 294 batting average. We're going to hammer the over. We really believe in Jay Willie. We think he is one of the premier hitting shortstops in the American League. Not necessarily for power, but for being a complete hitter, a solid gap-to-gap line drive hitter. And I think he's going to take that next step in his development. He's going to stay within his hitting zone. Now, especially that the film is out there of more of his professional at-bats going through a full season. The two areas that he's going to need to key in on is staying in that hitting zone, not giving into pitchers, and staying healthy because he does have a little bit of an injury track record. Rooting for Jay Willie. Looking forward to perhaps seeing him in Philadelphia being a representative for the A's in this year's All-Star game. He's that good, and looking forward to seeing what he does in his second full season with the A's, hopefully being a main component to a playoff team. That's all we have for you today on this edition of A's Player Preview and Prediction. Today we talked about the 2026 outlook for Jacob Wilson. We're very excited that we are oh so close to the start of A's opening day baseball. We've got one more A's player preview and prediction to wrap things up before we do our team preview episode on Friday. Be sure, if you want to continue the conversation about Jacob Wilson or anything A's related, check us out on our social media platforms, on Instagram at A's Day Baseball Podcast, on X, formerly known as Twitter at A's Day Baseball, and check out our YouTube channel for video editions of these episodes, as well as A's player interviews and A's baseball content created pieces and so much more that has been posted and will continue to be posted throughout the year. Become an official fan and subscriber of A's Day on our Patreon site, patreon.com/A's Day. For just $2 a month, you'll be entered to win monthly A's Day t-shirts, A's autographed memorabilia, future A's game tickets, and so much more as we are able to grow this platform collaboratively. Thank you all for tuning in to another edition of A's Player Preview and Prediction. One more to go. Tomorrow, we will be talking about the 2026 outlook for the 2025 American League Rookie of the Year, the Big Amish, Nick Kurtz. Take care, everyone, and until tomorrow, Holy Toledo, let's go A's.